Thank you very much for staying with us. Let's settle down for the details of our stories now. And lawyer for the director of Marbles and Granites, Dr. Edmund Ayo-Ani, who was detained by the BNI for more than 2 days, says the impunity of the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, must be condemned. Lawyer Nana Bafwe says he is waiting for further instructions from his client on whether or not to sue the BNI. The National Security Advisor, Baba Kamara, ordered Dr. Ani's arrest over accusations that he took and circulated photographs of some 50 or so Mahindra vehicles, claiming they were vehicles for the National Commission on Civic Education, NCCE, and were rather being diverted to the ruling National Democratic Congress. Dr. Ani has denied the allegations, and his lawyer, Nana Bafwe, insists the BNI's action is bad for Ghana's democracy. And we've been joined on the line by a lawyer for the MD of the owner of the company, and he's joined us on the line to give us an update on this development. Now, good afternoon, Nana Bafwe. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I'm sure as a lawyer you must be very upset that your client was picked up and locked for close to 3 days without any charge. How does this feel?
Obviously, I think it's not something to be happy about, but I have the full instructions of my client not to discuss this matter on air or in public, because he's going to deal with it at the appropriate time. I had made known to your producer, who had contacted me, that I'm happy to discuss the use of BNI by political actors, especially government in power, to abuse the fundamental human rights of people. So, with the greatest of respect, if you oblige me that, and if that is still within your agenda, we'll discuss that very respectfully.
Right, we would respect that position. But you have also been quoted as saying that the BNI has acted with, quote, impunity. How do you mean? And do you not agree that they, as BNI, are just, doing their duty?
The law respecting the operation of BNI is clear under the Securities and Intelligence Act of 1996. The functions of BNI are spelled out, and they are ultimately governed not just by the Act, but also by the Constitution of the land. Therefore, it's our expectation that whatever BNI does as an institution will be within the confines of the law.
Right.
The fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves, given what is already in the public domain, vis-a-vis the reports that came out concerning the arrest of my client, and also the statement by the National Security Advisor, which was very bold and definitive, that he ordered the arrest of my client, and that the reason was that, what he said, he had come to his private compound, a compound of a company limited by liability, a company limited by liability, a company which he's a shareholder of, okay,
right,
to take pictures. The fundamental question that arises in that regard is whether or not the pictures were even taken by my client, which my client denies, strenuously.
Right.
The second question is whether or not the compound is a security compound. The answer is no, it's not a security compound.
But is it a public compound? Would you describe it as a public compound?
It's a private compound belonging to a company limited by liability. The state has no interest in that facility. And therefore, the issue then for me is answered, that the national security has no business in this matter. Now, to the extent that national security has no business in this matter, and there has been exercise of state powers to arrest and then confine my client.
Why would you say that it is government or the state that is running the BNI in this particular regard?
Who made the order for arrest? Who made the order for arrest, sir? Hello, sir?
What we are told is that the National Security Advisor said he did, but it is different from saying government or
But who appointed the National Security Advisor? It's a political appointment. Is it not a political appointment, my brother? It's a political appointment.
Right.
And therefore, it's state actors. And this is what the says. It is not limited to just this government. Over a period of time, you've seen BNI being used by political actors, okay, to abuse the fundamental human rights of people. Apart from that, we have also seen instances where private individuals can also, procure BNI to intimidate people.
Okay.
So therefore, the time has come for us to put the operations of BNI into perspective.
What is the next line of action for you as instructed by your client?
Of the instructions of my client, as I said, not to discuss this matter on air.
Right.
But I think that as a nation, the bigger picture is the relevance to BNI and its operations, right, to the enhancement of our current dispensation, democratic dispensation. It is one institution that has no regard even for the courts. They act with impunity. And so we must all be concerned that how can we have an institution that constantly, does not have regard for the Constitution. It is very dangerous. It's extremely, very, very dangerous. That we need to deal with it.
My final question to you would be, has the back and forth of this development affected your client's business in any way?
No, I will not comment on it. My client says I shouldn't discuss in relation to this matter.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome.
But are you looking at probably joining forces with other legal brains to take on the BNI?
Of course. You see, we shouldn't put it as though we want to take on the BNI. We would have to, as a nation, look, TV3 as an institution, okay? There comes a time when there's a department in TV3 which you review to ascertain whether or not it is relevant to your business. Okay?
Right.
And then, you restructure it if necessary. Where it is not necessary, you disbandon it. So I think that we must look at BNI and its operations, okay, and see what we need to do with it, whether it's still relevant in the scheme of things.
But you do not think it is relevant?
No, you see, it isn't wrong for you to beef up your security. It is not wrong, but it must be accountable, not to the presidency, but to the people who have been appointed, who have been elected, to represent our interest in Parliament. As we sit here, do you even know the mode of recruitment into the Ghana, into the BNI? We don't even know.
All right.
We don't even know. It's become like a secret society, an occultic society that can easily, bundle you in there, deny you a right to a lawyer. Do you even know how many Ghanaians are in BNI custody? Right. We don't even know. We don't even know. And we must all be interested as Ghanaians.
Okay. We are grateful for your time and your explanation. All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Nana Bafwe. He is lawyer for the Director of Marbles and Granites, Dr. Edmond Ayo Ani, who was whether invited or picked up, but was with the BNI for close to a little over 2 days and was released because he is alleged to have taken some pictures of about 50 Mahindra trucks or vehicles that he is also alleged to have said belong to the NCCE, but has been branded to be given to the NDC. It's still an unfolding story. We'll keep an eye on it for you. When we do get details, we'll certainly bring it to your attention.